Internet's RJ, welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. You know the deal. We don't pay attention to bankers' holidays. It was a short week, but we have an action-packed show for you. We have the continuation of Ally quitting the credit card game. They literally rage quit and walked off the game. We have American Express with yet more product refreshes coming. What could possibly be left to ruin? And a very interesting story. We have what could be the first linked image of the replacement to the U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve card, which we will take a look at as well to close out the show and widely over-speculate on, of course. So, of course, if any of that sounds interesting to you, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, batting leadoff with Ally Bank. It was not 2 weeks ago that the Ally top boss, I believe it was, gave an interview of sorts about the mortgage space, which is near and dear to my heart because that's how I got into banking, and Ally was just cutting off their mortgage division altogether. And in that article, there was a throwaway comment of like, yeah, we're also don't really care about credit cards. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing, but we talked about it, and Ally credit cards never really amounted to anything, so like whatever, fine. But now, 2 weeks later, Ally is officially done. Well, they're about to be done, because if you take a look at this press release, we can see that Ally is selling the portfolio. So this was from Newswire. They used also often to like post links and things like this. Ally and CardWorks today announced that they have entered into a definitive agreement for CardWorks and its wholly owned bank subsidiary, Merrick Bank, to acquire Ally's credit card business, including a portfolio of $2.3 billion in credit card receivables with 1.3 million active cardholders as of December 31st, 2024. Goes on to say Ally's decision to sell its credit card business is part of a broader strategy to pursue a more focused approach, enabling us to simplify and streamline our structure, prioritize our core businesses, and drive improved returns. That was from the top boss. We are proud of the results of the business generated over the last 3 years and pleased with the terms of the agreement, on and on and on. So there you go. I mean, streamline, synergy, prioritize, all the buzzwords you love to see in your corporate memos. Am I right? I feel like it's a Monday and we're at work already. So, Merrick Bank, what do we know about them? Well, not too much. They do offer 2 credit cards right now. They're not very good. They're both looked at like credit builder cards. I mean, one is outright a secured card, I believe. I'm not, fine, secured card serves a purpose. We're not making fun of that. The other one just advertises that it's easier to get your credit limit increased, and that's what they have. Now, CardWorks seems to be like in the payment processing space of sorts. So, what are they going to do with these? I assume they just absorb them for the customer base. There's nothing special about Ally cards that ever would have kept Merrick Bank, and again, I don't know a whole lot about them, from starting a 1.5% or a 2% card. So I don't really think they're going to come over and like, hey, now we have all these competitive cards. Doesn't seem, because they could have just made those, right? They could have started out making those and then brought the portfolio over. It's possible, I suppose, that one of the cashback cards stays, the 2% back on everything stays. I could maybe see that depending on how competitive they want to be, but overall, the end of the Ally cards is amazing. They had that many customers, given how slow a rollout it was going to be. I don't know. I think, there's something to be said for, hey, this isn't for us. Let's just move on. As a big bank as Ally, I'm not sure why they couldn't make it work, but either way, the credit card portfolio is sold, and they are on to, I don't know, maybe better things, but probably not. So if you have an Ally card, I know some of you do, let us know over the coming months what happens with that. Now, on to someone who's trying to be on to bigger and better things is Delta, my favorite airline to talk about. They recently had a large event in Vegas and that giant sphere thing that lights up, and so they released a bunch of new partnerships and highlights things they're working on. So be interesting to take a look at this. So in no particular order, you now be able to have a partnership with Uber, which means they are cutting Lyft or dropping Lyft. You'll be able to earn some Sky Miles from Uber rides. You can be able to stream YouTube Premium on planes, so get subscribed so you can watch this show on your flight. Why not? They did announce a DraftKings partnership, which no one really knows. I don't believe we have a ton of details on that. The running joke is, will you be able to gamble with your Sky Miles? I think that would be amazing. I just don't think they're going to do that for liability's sake, but there's some DraftKings partnership. Other things you might care about: upgrades to the seat and back entertainment, like Bluetooth. So, a lot of folks just have AirPods or Sony headphones is what I use. You can now hook in, just set up Bluetooth with those, which would be very helpful. You don't have to have a cable for those. 4K screens, OLED screens coming. Now, I think this is just on newer planes that are getting this, and probably the first class stuff where you catch, Uncle Luke at and Sebi and all those guys. Back where I sit, I don't believe they're going to retrofit a bunch of planes. I think it's going to be starting on newer planes, rolling out, and then, maybe they get to retrofitting a while later. Do not disturb option as well if you don't want to be bothered when they come around with the Biscoff cookies. I don't know why you'd skip those, but hey, you can do it now. And then, of course, AI for the mobile app, AI concierge. I don't think much about consumer-focused facing AI right now, but hey, they've got AI coming. So all this stuff is coming soon. I don't think we're going to see it for quite a bit. Obviously take some time. The Uber one you'll probably see first. But overall, it's nice to see they're doing more things. I do think in-flight entertainment, having YouTube Premium and partnerships like that is definitely helpful. You should be able to gamble with Sky Miles. That would be that. I think that's funny. So anyhow, let me know what you think of those updates if you do fly Delta. Now on to some updates that you won't love, but they also probably don't affect people too much. Is first, American Express. They're starting with some product refreshes. The first thing they're, I guess, tweaking or refreshing is their business checking account, which I actually have and do use. And they are adding back the foreign transaction fee to it. 2.7% foreign transaction fee getting added back beginning February 21st. So you have a little bit of time. And no one here is using a debit card at all. I don't think this is fine. Foreign transaction fees are like one of the things people ask about the most, and I think matters the least to many people. If it matters to you, then it really matters, and you have the answer to the question you're already asking of what card can I use to get around it. And if it doesn't, then I don't know. Maybe you're buying one thing on eBay one time internationally. I don't know. But either way, they're adding it. That seems to be one of their first tweaks or refreshes. I don't know if that counts as part of our next story from the Amex earning call, which you have a quote on screen for you. So they their Q4 earnings call to close out 2024. And as the good doctor pulled out for us, currently we're refreshing between 35 and 50 products a year, and we're planning to maintain that pace in 2025. Along with other enhancements to our membership model for both consumers and commercial customers. So apparently they're just going to keep refreshing stuff. What's left to refresh is the real question. Well, of course, this stuff is all international. We don't care much about things that don't happen here stateside, but across the globe, they have a lot of different products. The obvious ones are the green card and the platinum, both personal and business. The business did get and plus also I should say we don't know how and when they're crossing it off their tick sheet, right? Because technically the business platinum a while back got the Hilton credit for $200, which I think is a game changer. Does that count? I don't know. Do they have more planned? I would assume they have more planned, but we don't really know. So in addition to that, I still think they could do some more. I still want to see them do more with cash back. It seems like they don't quite know what they want to do with deposit accounts, consumer accounts. I think their cashback cards, it's ridiculous that they're still capped at, the 3% and stuff like that are capped. The business plum card, I think, is forgotten about and could use a refresh, especially when you look at, the Spark line that's got charge cards for like significantly less, $95. Those are fan favorites. Even the Ink Premier is not really a threat, but it's still cheaper, than a lot of their cards. So, and plus they've at least shown that they're still more aggressive on the business side of things because they keep giving no lifetime language offers, and they keep giving me offers myself. So I don't know. Let me know what you want to see from down below. We've talked about this so much before, but I really think the refreshes and the wins are probably over in the banking space and the accounts. And I would like to see a lot of that. Now, membership enhancements, I think that's going to be more coupons and more membership style stuff. Can you get in here? Can you get in there with your Amex card as well? I would like to see them come out with a new product as well. Just, I think the Optio, because for lack of a better rumor name, I do think the platinum's at the point where it's no longer expensive enough, which sounds silly to say because I hate it and think it's too expensive, but it's no longer, I mean, it was never really exclusive. It's a credit card that anyone can get, right? So I wouldn't say it's exclusive, but my point, enough people have it that, that's partially what's bringing down Sky Clubs and Centurion Lounges. So you kind of need another one. Marriott Gold doesn't mean what it used to mean anymore. Hilton Diamond's still good, but Marriott Gold doesn't mean anything. But at the same time, you got the Brilliant card, which is what you're supposed to get platinum. So I think we're just kind of rambly speculating here right now. So let me know what you think down below. But I would like to see them focus on the banking side, cashback, and a new product or two to kind of, reinvigorate the lineup would be my hope for it. Now, someone who has a new product that definitely caught my attention over the last few months, if you haven't heard, is US Bank and Smartly. Now, this is more of an update before we get into what I think is the cool story of the week, is that when Smartly first came out, as you know, as we've been talking about it, as I've joined Smartly, if you product change cards, which I did, Cash Plus to Smartly, it wasn't giving you the correct multiplier for probably until January. That's when mine switched over, like January 1st or 2nd. US Bank said, hey, we're going to fix it. And true to their word, they did fix it. So not only did they send me an email, which you have on screen, I looked in my account because I've been keeping an eye. I normally don't check my points that often, but I've been keeping an eye on Smartly just to make sure it's still giving me 4%. And it is. And they did credit me. I think I got like 3,600 points, 3,800 points back, which is like, $38, which is not bad. Now, they didn't give me a breakdown of how it should code it, what I was earning when, but I should have been in the 3 to 3.5% tier, or the 2.5 and the 3% tier for a few of those months. I wasn't using the card aggressively, but long story short, we don't need to belabor the point here, but, we do crush banks a lot, so when banks do make good on their word without us having to file complaints, not that I would have filed a complaint for over $30, but it is worth noting. So good job, US Bank. Now, all of you guys, US Bank's having a moment right now. It's kind of like Wells Fargo had a moment a few years ago. Now US Bank is. So, friend of the channel and channel member sent me this link. I'll put on screen. By the time of taping, if it's no longer an interactive link, you'll at least have a screenshot. This is a US Bank simulator link. And what you have here in the top right is, it looks at first glance, it looks like, hey, this is just Smartly. But if you zoom in, and I don't think I'll be able to get a clearer shot of this, you have what looks like could be the replacement to the reserve card. And now you could say, is this just another colorway for Smartly? Because if you zoom in a lot, it does look like it says Smartly under the US Bank logo, which is true. But if you drop down to the Visa sign, it kind of looks like it might, I don't know, it might be an infinite, it might say signature. I can't quite tell what they're trying to do here, but because it's a different look altogether, I don't think even in a test site they'd have a different look for the card. Because if you scroll through it, the debit card looks the same at that $22.55. The Shoppers Rewards look the same. This is definitely a card we haven't seen. So yeah, I can't tell if that says infinite or not. I kind of wanted to say it. It might say signature, but either way, that could be the next version of the reserve. We don't really know, but if we wanted to speculate out on this, then we could say, hey, that looks like they might be including it in the Smartly program. That would make sense as well, because again, you've got something to entice cashback people to bring their money over, but you don't necessarily have anything to entice travel people to bring their money over either. So we could say, well, 4% is 4%, but the travel people, it's really not. I mean, it could be, but it's not. Again, depending on what they want to do. Obviously, they'd want you to run it through their travel portal and things like that. Be like altitude points or such. So, I mean, it's really not much to go on, but it is interesting. I don't think it was a mistake by any means to have that different, because that's clearly a different card design. It's kind of like a copper bronze type thing. I want to say it looks like a penny almost. To me. So again, we do believe it's going to be back at some point. I think it's telling that it's at least included in that Smartly thing up there, because they've had the thing up enough now that they know that all the other card designs are correct. So I would assume they could easily put the correct card design in there versus a random card design we've never seen before. So again, way too early to tell, but I do think this has potential. I'll start asking around, see if we can find anything. I do have it on at least decent authority. There will at some point be a replacement to the altitude reserve, a successor in some way. I don't know that it'll be the exact same thing, but at least that's what I've heard. I get nothing other than that. So that is interesting to me. So again, US Bank could be having a moment. If they put the travel card in the Smartly program, I do think that would be big. I've been fawning over the Wells Fargo autograph Journey card, but it could make more sense for someone like me. Again, doesn't travel a ton. I don't think this will be like a platinum card competitor by any means, but it's more like another altitude reserve swap out. If you're getting 4x back on every travel thing, that could be handy too, potentially, depending on what else the card gets. And it does need to be a little bit more travel focused, because a lot of times the altitude reserve is just love for that mobile wallet of all things, which is not a bad perk, but that's not really what you want your flagship travel card to be known as, for a mobile wallet. That's an everyday perk. It's not a travel perk. So anyways, there you have it. This could have been much ado about nothing or something interesting. I want it to be something interesting. So let me know down below. Wild speculation. Let's just have at it. What do you think? What do you want? What do you hope for this card and more? So anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. If you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. We're posting content just like this every single day. And of course, right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And of course, every single day over on ProfitContent.com, which is the channel's blog. Always linked down below for you and on the channel homepage. Over there, we have the latest news stories just like this. We have plenty of bank promotions, including some from US Bank, including a really high $900 business checking one if you want to get started now, and of course, credit card offers as well. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon in the next one.